It's 10 something. I think I have like I think it's a canker sore. Or like just like normal tissue. Maybe like I bit into my skin and then like the tenderness is now exposed and I have to wait like a week for it. I'm only diagnosing that when looking up today because as I talk, I can't really open my mouth. It's sort of like, I feel like it's like building itself around. It's like, you know? So if you see me talk like this is why I'm talking like this. And I'm gonna keep my talking to a minimum. It's raining. I'm wearing all black. Besides the diddle lanyard. Which is cool. So I edited a few of the videos. You can see those videos right below. Or not, I don't know. Maybe they're flashing here. And I did it till 5 a.m. which is crazy. So I slept for at least like an hour and a half. Until it hit 7. And then I woke up at 7. Like, I weirdly just arose when it hit like when I set my alarm for 7, like ding, like I knew it. And I gave myself a few more hours until it hits 8. And then when it hit 8, I read a document on the mythical, it's not power, the mythical norm. I think it is the mythical norm of this term that's coined by like a generic white male thin that is very mythical. It's like, it's a myth, it's not real, it doesn't apply to everyone. What is seen in the US as applied to be like those, the safety net or the privilege or the higher class people are typically in those centers, that race, that gender, that that class, race, and gender. The third. And intersectionality is the overlapping of those principles of, hey, just because I am for example, a black woman who gets shunned from her job and the judge is like, oh my gosh, just because it's not black, we have black people, but notably the black people are men. Or it's like, we do hire women, but all the women are white. It was that example in the one TED Talk video, so I'm really not gaslighting myself here overly. But how did I feel when I was still editing my videos? Well, first of all, I did do the sticky note not attempt. I was about to say sticky note attempt. Sticky note method. Put it over the timer. It worked flawlessly. I was working. I put Donnie Bone videos while to pass the time. Just to nothing. That was easily great. And also, it was just transferring the videos. Anything to 14 minutes to 20 minutes takes a while to upload to my Google Drive. Anything below that, less than 10 minutes, is really fast to get into my Google Drive. Otherwise, I feel the internal, like, cold, numb appeal. When I was laying in bed while waiting for, like, my things to upload, my stomach was gurgling. Notably, I actually am thankful that I ate a lot of food here, because I think it served me to stay awake for most of the time as well. So I'm not, like, easily dried out as, like, a reason. I feel like when I was, like, laying down in my bed, I think it started digesting all the foods that made my stomach was, like, going down. I was like, oh! It was like climbing a peak, in the game Peak, and then your stamina bar goes low. And then it doesn't replenish. It's like, not that I was crashing out. It's just like, I heard my stomach growing like, It was like finally digest. It's like I turned on the microwave. I'm like, oh, okay. And then I decided to sleep because I'm like, I know I'm not gonna wake up, and I need to wake up, and I did. That was great. So what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna attend my class, and then after attending my class, I'm gonna finish my edits. I want to do that. I think I can do that today. It's great. Am I gonna finish editing my descriptions, like adding the additional descriptions? No, I think I have to do that over the weekend, which honestly it's fine. I think that's faster, but it's not a priority, Nathan. It's not a priority. It's editing the videos. It's a priority, and putting them in, because you don't want to put it in October and be like that. You don't want to be that guy. Also, it's just a personal ego thing, which is great because it makes me post it, but never do it last minute. Never ever do it last minute. Even if you think you can forget about doing it, don't do it last minute. You're gonna hate yourself. Well, I'm gonna go to class now. See you after when I get to class. Also, I just felt like I'll tell more about the experience of like getting up in the morning if I remember, if anything, but if I don't, then you will see that in my memory. Okay, right back. I like rain. I feel like it has not rained ever in this month until now. Backlog, let's watch, let's see. Maybe it has, and I've just not been outside for it. But it's nice. So what did I do? I'm just gonna talk like this. What did I do? Well, I attended it, and she went over the image of the Vitruvian Man and how he was not annotated, but was written over with specific things like being Christian, being non-disabled, etc., etc. And allowed us to say, like, okay, what are some other things that you took away from the article? Then we got into talking about... No. While she asked the question, some people answered. And then afterwards, she threw a lot of, not rhetorical, but thinking exercises just for yourself to be like, what if we think about it this way and this way? You don't have to say your answer. You don't want to share. Like that type of exercise. Then we talked about consumer culture and how that's relevant, and notably the way we value things in a gross margin, where we expect exponential growth for things being a tangible but actually intangible thing. I think the one takeaway that I found interesting about it is that it's not something you can just measure, right? And what I mean by you can't just measure, it's not something that's reliable in measurements. It's something that we as humans created just as like a metric system for our own thing. And from not only just metric system, but data analysis over time for how we track things, that we see that impression of whether or not the growth is going up or down. It reminds me of the stock market for some reason, but I don't even know the stock market is correlated with it. I digress. But I like it because in my mind I was thinking, man, this is like my message of AI companions. Well, my half my brain feels like it was severed as I sat there because, again, lack of sleep. After that, notably a fun fact, it seems like fashion is the highest growing factor in consumer culture, where it's Harley mentioned fast fashion, which is like the type of like trends here and there. And the example for trendiness was the white woman Instagram, but it's Christian Fall Girl. That's what Adrian said. So I was like, I don't know. I was just playing Bo Burnham's white woman Instagram. White woman, white woman Instagram. So that was cool. But after that, we made like a booklet. Well, there was a booklet that was given to us, and we had to solve a dilemma. And the dilemma is more so about consumer culture, like solving an epidemic for consumer culture that is ethical and consumer related. And I'm paired with Steve, which is fine, because I just sat next to him. So I'm like, do you want to pair? Because it makes sense in general. Either way, he said capitalism. I'm like, wow, that's great. How do we want to solve that? I'm good with anything. And something to know about Steve is just, not only do you go with his ideas, you don't yes and them, right? You don't do the Brigitte, right? You actually give him like your perspective on things. He's that type of person. So I'm like, okay. It's a lot of, if he doesn't know something, which is fine, it's sort of like his brain going through like subfolder. You have to guide him. Which again, this is not a bad thing. It's just like a thing that I found like is very useful when you're first looking at it. Which is the ability to just be like, okay, do we want this to be more smaller? Do we want to go more grand? And he's like, okay, more smaller. I'm thinking, and I just share a personal thing, like I watched this morning, this person who talked about gambling and not the resurgence, but the regression, or like our first money regression is gonna be based off in the US, like gambling stuff, which could be right or wrong. This is just based off this video I watched, and it was talking about like the fad of Labubus, for example, where it was popularized by I don't even know if it's a K-pop artist specifically, maybe it's a Chinese artist, I don't know, but I'll just say K-pop artist, sorry, I'm judging, K-pop artist who bought Labubu and popularized it there because it's almost like a FOMO effect, and that's the latest. Or it can be even consumer culture with the latest trend or the old trends, vintage trends, if you will, like vinyls, for example. It's very cool. But we went from a little bit, so he's like, I don't know a lot of that. So we're just like, you just steer away. So I'm like, okay, video games. We're in a video game school, right? But you have to like narrow that down, be communicative about that. So he's like, yeah, it's like this, and he's like, well, I don't know a lot of AAA games. This is tone of voice. I don't really know a lot of AAA games. I play a lot of indie games. You let him simmer. You let him think. He has like a face that he's thinking. I'm like, okay. It's like, can I communicate? Don't worry about me. I'm just writing it down. Pop off game. And then I'm like, then we settle on something, which is people like investors. It's not specifically investors. Investors that put in a lot of money into projects, but they don't pan out over time. Something along those lines. And that consumer effect is really for the people who have, or probably the investors and the money stakeholders who putting the money into it at a higher rate or something along those lines. Something along those lines. I'll read it again and I'll be like, oh, okay, this is what I meant. I think before, we were thinking the software that was used, being that when you get, not DLCs, but like Destiny, like multiplayer online games, I guess like shooting games, where you have to buy a subscription or membership, and you have to, I was about to say Strinova, and right in front of me, he's like, I don't know what Strinova is. I wasn't gonna explain what Strinova is to him. He's gonna be like, okay. And I'm like, ah! No, so I wouldn't do that. For his sanity. For his man. For his sister. No. I think one aspect as well from the think in your mind, don't have to answer for the repeal, is like, how do you combat accepting those types of norms in people, whether they're Christian, cisgender, or they are born from a different race, a different culture, a different age, the type of body they have, their status or class as an individual. And I think for me, my jaw is like, I think for me, it is more so on the other individual. It's not me, it's you. It hurts when I laugh. But why is that to me, at least, that I feel that way? Well, I think how I take about things in life is to be very open-minded about it, but not be so open-minded that I don't have my own point of views, right? For example, like working with Steve or something, where I have to be open-minded in the sense of like, what are we going to iterate on? Because he's the type of person, not to be me on him, he's just like, you just got to know these stuff. It's like, he's the type of person that if he doesn't know so well in depth into the thing that he is quote unquote passionate about, or just like he has to work on, then it's not going to be so much a priority. It's like these like pillars in which it's like, okay, if it's like Mr. Terrific, like if it doesn't fulfill this category of this thing, then it won't be such a priority to work on later on. So it's like, I want to maximize the amount of effort that he's interested in, and I can work off of that, and to just share that adaptability mindset. Overall, that's my way of thinking. But otherwise, I am, yes, open-minded about how I am around people. And I think that comes with the background of being able to move place to place at a young age, and not having so much of a thing where I am trying to get just one impression from one place or another. And now with just like staying here in Washington for most of my life, is like, the hardest part was like integrating myself and understanding that those are those people who I have to meet every single day, so I have to have like a good impression or a neutral bias impression on myself, which is fine. We good. Because I think that also stems from the idea of me being a very emotional person, that if I can feel the sense of something's off, then I'm gonna feel that, I don't even say like 10 times, but I would say like 5 times more than the average person who doesn't intentionally feel that internally, or feel like, oh, if I'm doing something wrong, I'm doing something wrong. I think at a young age, I'm very impressionistic. No, if I had to fight in a tournament, like in Shane versus the Shanes, the Clash of the Shanes, who would win? This is just a side tangent now. Who would win? Otherwise, after that, I'll come back to that. But after talking with Steve, we left class, and we're going to work on it on Wednesday more, because it seems like it's going to be a Wednesday thing too. I went down the stairs, and then I saw Ash. Her name's Ash. And she had a cup in her mouth, and she had a picnic basket, and she was going upstairs. She's like, hello. And I'm like, oh, whoa, you're having a picnic basket and everything. And then she's like, do you know this? And it's an Arctic Club Hotel cup. And she says, like, this is something that you might know. And I'm like, I don't know that. And it's like, oh, okay, it's fine if you don't know. I'm gonna keep going. It's like, okay. And I looked it up. I'm like, wow, it's something in the Seattle area about architecture. The more you know. Okay, then we get back here, and guess where I am parked? At my lovely place of establishment, Panera Bread. I'm a Panera Bread fiend. Maybe this could be my consumerism. Mobile app purchases, the accessibility of getting food on the go. What? No, I'm kidding. We're gonna stick with the consumer mindset of putting in money for games that never show up. But Clash of the Nathaniels, really quick, because I understand it's 14 minutes and I know the download time of each video is kind of crazy. So, who would win? Would current me win in the situation? I would say strength-wise, lacrosse me would dominate. No doubt about that. Lacrosse me, even if I didn't exercise that much, or he has exercise, he has hit the gym. Sanity-wise, I think the half of me, the year half of me where, I think crazy is probably COVID me with the hair. I think logically though, I think it would be the older versions of me. But I think what I lack in strength, I just have in pure knowledge, in manipulation. I think the one thing that you can consider me with a criteria of characteristics, it is that, sure, there's patience, there's adaptability in some case scenario, but I'm a manipulator. I can manipulate things. I think the one strongest ability overall is the ability to control the mind. And that is a double-edged sword, which I'm not going to go into, but I'm just going to say I'm going to get my Panera stuff because I want to check if it's there. I'm going to eat, I'm going to edit, and then I'm going to engross myself in some homework if I can finish. I'm not going to hit the descriptions. I'm just going to finish my work and get it over with. Also, I did not forget, I'm going to wait. I did not forget the mindset of how I woke up in the morning. So I still feel it now. I feel like almost like a residual, like if you can feel like your skeletal bones in your limbs, it's like, well, this is because I'm skinny. But just, you know mind, like if you have like, you crack a knuckle or something, like you feel like the pressure with like the, I don't know. Otherwise, that's what it feels like. My brain, although it has a hat, actually the hair's not that bad. Even though it has a hat, it feels like it's severed off, like it's like cut in half, like whing! Like Captain America and Marvel Zombies. That's a throwaway, but the knowledge. Sometimes these are tangents. Okay, this is the last tangent. Sometimes, in some way or some form, the world curates me the things I need to listen to. And sometimes, in some way or form, it's not just an ads. It's like, for example, the gambling video for Labubu. I'm watching that. That's great. That was just suggested to me. And then we talk about consumer culture. And then we're like, oh my gosh, girly. That's kind of crazy. Also, my mouth kind of hurts, so I'm going to stop talking now. Otherwise, let's get food. Let's continue working. Edit. Dale! I'm just the type of guy. Ow, it hurts. I'm just the type of guy that we cry to movies. When it hits that emotional part every time. And even if it's bad, I'm just like, damn, that was good. It's like, no, it's not that good. But yeah, I'm just going to end the recording here, and then if I need to do a recording, I will. But I'm just showing that I got my food, and my mouth again sore. I'm trying to tell you tonight, baby. Tell me if you're coming through. What you do? What you do? Where you at? Where you at? You got plans. You got plans. It was that. It was that. It's breaking mine. In a row. Not too good. Too good. Be alone. Be alone. Baby. There's more to love and I can get it. Not kissing, loving, romance, and a moment I'm shopping. I've been playing for games, every word that I say will turn on my heart. So if you run on a myth, I'ma leave the door open. I'ma leave the door open. I'ma leave the door open, girl. I'ma leave the door open. Never talking. Honestly, as I record this, I feel like I'm that one girl who is like singing like take the wheel, like heaven take the wheel, or like something like that, and then she was like going really fast and she didn't really understand the curve, and then she's like, oh no, and then she flips, and then I'm like, I feel like I'm making a TikTok or something. I am not making a TikTok. It literally is, I'm just making a video, and you're like, great. No, the sore is like in the back. I've had sores before, just like in like my bottom lip or like in the front areas. Because in general, probably just the lack of like my gums. But otherwise, my gums are not that good, bro. They're kind of mid. But this is the first time I've had it in the back. And it's so tender. It's so tender. It's like, bro, what did I even do, bro? I brush my teeth. I floss. What do you want from me? And I'm like, I don't know. Maybe because I just like put my fingers in my mouth or something. Like, I don't know. It's like one of the things where it's like, it's something like bio warfare. Or just like acidic that's harming my mouth. And then I just, or like biting my own gum. Like, yeah, also just like my own gum, and then that's like in a week. So I don't even remember when I said. Maybe it's almost the time, but please end this so I can talk more and do my work. Because no, it is like an unmotivating factor in how I do things. At the end, I do want to watch some of my videos and just like deeply analyze, like, hey, what are the things that I noted, whether good or bad, like all like the takeaways each day, all the things that I've like noted each day. It's just something that's good. I will note that. Because it's crazy that it's like at day 4 or 5, that's when I stopped putting my descriptions in. So I'm like, that's a lot of descriptions. I also have to make the cabinet. Which I'll make the cabinet. Because I know if I don't make the cabinet tomorrow, that's gonna suck. I also need to make a procedural tool. One procedural tool, so I'll probably do that today. I actually do that today, if I have the time. Yes, it's either today or tomorrow. I make the procedural tool. And when I make the procedural tool, I document how I make it. And I don't care if I'm copying someone. Because it's like, first copy, then iterate. Copy, then iterate on it. It's even with like templates, right? Like templates are like an Unreal Engine. Like you have like the standard template, and then you dissect it, then you hate it, and then you're like, okay, here's a better way to actually optimize it, and then so on and so forth. That's why the feeling of unoriginal ideas come about in real life, where whether or not you are doing that or not, like original ideas I wouldn't say I have so much random ideas. I think it's just like when you execute it in action, it makes it unique. The passion behind what you execute is always gonna be there, even with like advertising and stuff, to pull you in the zeitgeist of hey, if you want to be cool like me, this is what you would look like if you get this. What was it? This drink or smoking. Ooh. Which again, I'm glad I don't smoke. Okay, I'm just noting I have finished putting up to day 28 stuff in Google Drive. I'm gonna take a nap because I feel the lingering recurgence of need more sleep. I set a timer though, and after the timer hits, I'm going to, it's like around 5:30ish, I'm going to edit, rapid fire, if you will, and see where that takes me. So yeah, hopefully I'll have those finished.